All right, it's time for more Grishoalbrand in Modern, and this time we're trying out a Sultai build largely for Psychic Frog. So Psychic Frog is a very good discard outlet, and then we can use Demonic Council, new card from Duskmourn, to put a Grishoalbrand into our hand to discard to our Psychic Frog, or we can use it to go get a Goryo's Vengeance once we have Delirium, and then go from there. So this deck is similar to the black-green versions that I've been running more recently, but with these blue cards, we don't really have the space for Urza's Saga. So notable other blue cards include, well, there's Preordain, helps with consistency in general, and then Founding the Third Path. So Founding the Third Path does a couple of interesting things. One is it potentially, we get to cast one of our other 2-drops here, Malevolent Rumble, Goryo's Vengeance, Demonic Council, even this Collective Brutality, or a Preordain from our hand for free in turn 1 or stage 1. Then we get to mill 4 cards, helps us hit Delirium, also helps us maybe just find a Grishoalbrand to put into the yard. And then we can exile an instant or sorcery and copy it. So that could go get a Grishoalbrand with Demonic Council, that could go get a that could cast a Goryo's Vengeance, that could go get a Goryo's Vengeance with a Delirium Demonic Council. So there's a lot of flexibility there. It could even just flash back a Preordain, and then we find the other piece that we need to, again, try to go off on turn 4. Now, a potential weakness of this deck is that it's actually not that easy to hit Delirium. I mean, land is pretty easy. Sorcery is pretty easy. Creature is doable, because if we have a Grishoalbrand in the yard, which we need for Delirium, then okay. But then what do we have? We either need to like mill over or have a Founding the Third Path die, which is definitely possible, or we need to have like a shoal or a spike in the yard, which is also definitely possible, but not free. After sideboard, it gets a little bit easier. I've tried to pack some instants between like Consign, Abrupt Decay, and stuff like that, so maybe we can make it a little bit easier there. So that's something I'm a little worried about, but I don't really know what to trim. It was already kind of a struggle to get it down to this few cards, so we're gonna try it out. We're gonna see how it goes, and let's hop into a match. Okay, so we have lost the die roll. We have 3 lands. We have a Brutality, which can get a Grizzle into the yard if we can find one. And then we have a Preordain. So I think I do like keeping this hand. It's a little bit dicey with deciding whether to Preordain or Surveil on one. I think I'm going to keep and Preordain on one off of a blue-green land, because that way I dig more cards at finding a Grishoalbrand. Although actually then I don't have black for the sewers, so maybe I do need to lead on sewers. Interesting. Our opponent is mulling to 5, which I like for us. We can't really make use of our sideboard, so I'm just gonna get rid of that for now. Double Goryo's is pretty good. Let's see what our opponent has in store for us. Misty Rainforest, pass. Okay, so we go to our turn. Okay, now we do have untapped black, so I am more likely to Preordain. Yeah, so this will just dig deeper, and then hopefully we Brutality on 2, Goryo's on 3 is the plan. I'm gonna fetch a Watery Grave, I think, and then Verdant can get a Forest if I need it to, and I think there's a higher chance I might want double black, so we can go with that. So hopefully we look like blue-black Murktide. Or Frogtide, I guess you could say. Don't need this Verdant. I will take another Preordain, because next turn I could like Sewers Preordain if I don't find anything with the like draw for the turn. Whereas if I just take a random card, then it's very possible I just like don't have a play next turn and I'm top decking. This sewers means that I'm kind of not top decking, which I like. Opponent bins a counter spell. I like that for us. Again, this is suggesting that they are frog. I think we'll preordain first and then sewers. I know they could potentially counter it. Okay, they play us a frog of their own. Now, we could collective brutality, but then they can discard a card. So I'm not that interested in that line. I'm just going to preordain bottom and bottom. Don't need those. And then we're going to sewers. We're going to graveyard that. All right, so we've continued to miss a little bit here. And now things have started to get a little bit dicey. So they do get to hit us with a frog. It kind of has to, I mean, Grishoalbrand off the top, it doesn't have to be this turn, could be next turn. Worm is terrible. I'm going to play a Verdant. And then hopefully I can... Wait, I forgot if I'm playing 2 Surveils in this list. I don't think I am. They're targeting, yeah, they're targeting themselves. They mill a frog and a watery grave, sure. So the Verdant is a little bit of a suspect addition. I mean, they have, all right, they've drawn 2 cards. They've gotten back up to a 7-card hand. I'm not going to fetch. We don't have a second Surveil, and I don't necessarily know what I even want here. I could play Founding the Third Path. I think it's reasonably likely. And then I'm going to... Do I use this as a duress if they don't counter? I guess we're looking like maybe like a Sultai Control or something, I guess, hopefully. They're countering this, I imagine. Alright, so they're hard casting a Force of Negation. Again, fine. I'll play the Forest and let them know that I don't want to play the Woodland unless we have to, but I'll let them know that we are a mill more. Let them know that we are like not just a frog deck. I'm surprised they haven't discarded a card to the frog yet. Okay, now they do. And yeah, and we're taking another point of damage, or 2 points. Soporific Springs. I mean, I'm kind of glad that that's not in their hand. They can't like bounce in response or whatever. I mean, obviously I know we can win in response, but it's one less like potential interactive piece that they could have. Yeah, and they're playing Murktide. So I'm gonna fetch here, and then because if we don't, we're probably dead. They're unearthing another frog. All right. Yeah, I mean, I assume they're holding up a single counter spell. So brutality could get through that. I'm gonna get a tapped Overgrown Tomb. We pick up a Shifting. So we are what one would call dead. I mean, I guess I could brutality. No, but they'll discard a card. I was gonna say we could brutality frog and then like go for a Woodlands Reanimate on Worm. We only have land and sorcery though. I guess we could double escalate, discard Agorios and discard the Worm. but we're still taking 8 in the air. Is that high enough percentage that I want to show them the worm? The worm can't attack this turn. So, no, because I'd be taking 2 hits from this Murktide before I can... Like, I can put the worm into play this turn, but it can't attack. And I couldn't have done it earlier because, again, I couldn't have played another land. I played a land every turn. All right, we'll scoop it up here. So hopefully, again, we just look like a good old Sultai control. For what we want, I mean, we could think about Pact. Decay could be thought about. It does get through Frog. Consign, I don't think we need. Shieldred's kind of interesting. Think about Shieldred's. Maybe we trim... There are a Bowmaster's deck. We could trim a couple Foundings, maybe. I don't really see them letting that resolve too easily. The Rumbles are maybe no longer needed for Endurance. The Rumble... Still kind of like Rumble on the play. Kind of like Founding on the play, too. I'm not necessarily expecting Artifact or like Graveyard Hate out of them yet. I will bring in like a Pact. But then what are the cuts? Maybe like 1 Founding. Maybe the Shieldreds aren't needed. Those are more if we're kind of expecting to juke them. Like 1 Rumble, maybe 1 Preordain, something like this. Yeah, all right, let's go like this. I mean, we don't have lands that cast our spells, so that's gonna have to be a mulligan. This is also not great, but I will keep it. I'm gonna ship a Soul Spike. I think I'd rather have Worm for like a potential Malevolent Rumble situation. And I'm gonna go Delta pass, probably get a tapped black-green. Could think about playing 1 Tri-land in this deck, maybe. We'll go Tomb. Shifting is like an okay pickup. Can play Island. And then I'm going to play Frog. I know we don't necessarily have the ability to discard yet, but they try to hit it. I could dump the Worm and have like Woodland Worm as a backup plan. I don't have 2 green though. I would need a second green land to feel better about that. So hopefully here they don't just like have a push. They have their own Frog. All right, it's Frog Wars. And I can probably make my Frog flying with this Rumble, which could be cool. That's also another green. I'm going to go for Rumble first. The question is, are they going to Force of Negation it? If they do... Okay, they do. So if I were to attack, I could dump 4 cards, but then they could dump 4 cards. We would both go down to 0 cards and we would both have large frogs. I think that's not to my benefit. So we would each have 5-6 frogs having dumped our entire hands. Then they untap and draw a card, and they essentially get to go first in attempting to break the frog mirror. So I think I'd rather just play Delta. And fetch a breeding pool. Or surveil, but yeah, I mean, it depends. See if they attack. Kind of surprising that they forced Rumble. Forced pitch counterspell. I mean, sure. I guess they didn't want my frog to fly, so that makes sense. Okay, they also pass. I guess they realize that their frog is holding back my frog. Again, frog wars. I could surveil, and if I surveil something to the yard, I potentially get to make my frog flying, but they could also make their frog flying, so I'm not going to do that. Go to our turn. Pick up another frog. I mean, all right, we've got another frog. How do people play fair decks? I hate this. I hate this so much. Like, why? I don't want to have to just like do frog combat math. All right, they have counterspell on the frog, sure. Now I'm gonna play the Shifting Woodland. And then next turn, I could dump the worm and then attack with it with Shifting Woodland. So maybe I can... Oh no, I don't have Delirium. Never mind. Well, if I get more cards into my yard, maybe I can. Question is going to be, do they have like a Murktide or something? Yeah, I still need some more card types. Rumble would have been a good one to get in there, but I guess they don't want to. I mean, I can't block. I would lose my frog. So they're going to get to draw. Then hopefully we get to attack back and draw. This could read as them having either a removal spell or like a Murktide though, which would be bad. I think we're going to lose this game. Yeah, they have another frog. Okay. Grishoalbrand. Okay, that's a start to not losing this game. Do I want to discard 3 cards to make them discard 3 cards? Not particularly. I think I want to play a tapped Watery Grave and pass. And if I draw... No, I need sorcery and... The problem. I need sorcery and I need creature. I mean, the reanimation is good. Or sorcery and I need instant. So I need to like... Yeah, I need to like preordain into some sort of instant. This is going to be so bad now. They're just going to accrue so much advantage. They have the frog advantage. If you have the frog advantage, you can keep the frog advantage because you keep the cards in your hand. I hate fair decks. Why would anyone ever do this to themselves? I understand that we're not playing a fair deck, but it's playing like a fair deck right now. Murktide? Yeah, it looks like Murktide. So I think our best draw is actually probably Preordain, because then we can like Preordain for... That's a sorcery, and then we can like Preordain for a combo piece. Shifting Woodland is not it. Yeah, I mean, we're going to be dead here. I'm going to scoop it up. All right, on to the next one. That was not good. Okay, so we are on the draw. We have a hand here that I think is actually kind of close, because we could, on our first turn, pass, discard Grishoalbrand, and then we have a land, and then if we hit another land, we have a turn 3. So while this hand looks like it's actually terrible at the beginning, I think it's actually not. I'm going to keep this, because we kind of have a couple draw steps to hit a land. Opponent is maybe on control. I'm going to go to cleanup. They're fetching on end step. Undercity Sewers isn't another frog. It might be. It looks like more frog. It's a very froggy day. We've discarded a Grishoalbrand and we have 2 Goryo's Vengeances in hand, so maybe we can get through some counter magic. Well, we need a land. They've milled a little bit more. Another land. Okay. And we do have that nice instant speed. Come on, land off the top. Not a land. All right, so we get to discard another Grishoalbrand. We could think about discarding something else, but I don't really think there's a benefit in that. They have a Bowmasters. That's fine. We don't care. We discarded the second Grishoalbrand. Hit us for 2. Okay, Breeding Pool. Well, no, it's the wrong land. I'll shock that in. I assume that they're going to counter Rumble. I'm going to go for Founding, actually. I think this is certainly going to get countered, but that's like fine. I kind of value Rumble more because I can like Rumble next turn or whatever. And maybe if I find a black source off of that, go the same turn, at least strip the counter spell from their hand. I could also like preordain. Maybe they're less likely to counter that, and then that gives me several, like 3 looks at a black card or a black land. 2 more damage to 13. So now we don't have double draw, and we would need Shoal or potentially Spike in the top few. We have Harbinger of the Seas. That's a little bit dicey because now we need to specifically find swamp. We have 1 swamp. I mean, I can preordain bottom and bottom. I know that can kill Harbinger, but all right. They shoot us here. We're gonna take 5 to 7. I mean, we're effectively dead here because there's no way they don't. Yeah, we're dead. There's no way they don't have a counter spell for our Goryo's, and we'd have to gain the life from the Goryo's. So I assume that they do know what we are on. What could I bring in here? I mean, Shieldred is pretty nice as like a fair card. I assume Graveyard Hate is coming in. What can I cut? I mean, maybe Founding the Third Path is not at its best here. Decay could be okay. I think they're gonna have more stack-based stuff, so maybe like 1 Pact for 1 Rumble. We still have a couple green cards. We have the Shieldreds. Yeah, I could try this. I'm expecting Grave Hate out of them because they saw Grishoalbrand, obviously. Alright, so we don't have a way to dump the Grishoalbrand into the yard, but I am going to keep this. In sewers. Turn 2, Council for the Grizzle. Turn 3, hopefully. I mean, this is not really going to put something into play before turn 4. We do have the Shieldred if like things go wrong also. Or this could just mill a Grishoalbrand. Could also mill a Shieldred. I'm gonna graveyard that. I don't feel like we need it. Brutality is decent. I'm gonna go Breeding Pool because I do kind of want the 4th land, and hopefully they don't have a 1-mana counter, Spell Snare or something. Looks like we're getting Spell Snared though. Spell Pierce. Alright, sure. Can try to naturally draw the Grizzle. Maybe we just naturally play a Shieldred. So we have options. Okay, we drew another Brutality. I'm going to cast one as Duress. We can hit Charm. They have Harbinger, Nile, Spellbomb, double Bowmasters. So they're going to bring in a Bowmasters here. We do get to kill it potentially. I'm not going to fetch because I do want to be able to play my Shieldred. They could also Harbinger. Actually, wait. Oh, they're going to untap and Harbinger. Well, they don't have a land. Right? So they need to draw lands to be able to play the Harbinger. But also fetch and then Brutality it. So honestly, I'd be okay with them drawing the land. They did draw the land. It's like they're passing, though. Oh, okay. Nile Spellbomb, yeah. All right, so I'm going to fetch the basic swamp here. Actually, no, I should have just waited because they didn't force me to. I was a little bit dumb. All right, Shifting Woodland is decent. I get to just play Shieldred. Maybe that can do enough. They do have another Bowmasters, but... And again, we have Brutality for the Harbinger. Yep, here's the Bowmasters, yes. Okay, so double Bowmasters, Nile gone, Charm gone. So they have Harbinger and Murktide in hand, and then they're going to draw one for turn. They could play the Murktide here. Looking like they're just playing the Murktide here. We draw a Grishoalbrand, we still just... Well, okay, not with the Nile, maybe, but... It's not the biggest Murktide. So go to our turn, draw, gain 2 life, preordain, gain a little bit more life. I actually should have spent the breeding pool on that, but... We have Frog, we have Endurance. I'm going to bottom that, and I think I'm going to top Frog. So they do get to shoot us a little bit with Bowmasters. Grows their army. We gain life back with Shieldred. Now I'm going to play a Frog. And we can go from there. They attack with the Murktide. I mean, so be it, I guess. Probably what I'll need to do soon is like dump the worm and then threaten to shifting it. So if I draw a land, I can do that, and then they pop Nile, and then I can maybe try and win the next turn. They attack with the Murktide and don't pop the Nile. I can give the Frog flying. Draw. Although I do I do risk making this Orc army too big. Alright, so we'll take the Murktide hit. Why is it fair magic again? I hate this. Yeah, sure. Murktide. Okay, they are popping the Nile. Interesting to see if they draw a card. They will lose 2 life for it. They do nuke our yard, but we can now just draw a Grishoalbrand. Not sure why they did that exactly. Okay, so we do gain 2 life. We can play an Overgrown Tomb. I'm going to shock it in because now We can dump a autochthon worm. And then I can shifting. Oh, I don't have delirium. I could dump the Gorios, and I could, well, no, I still can't get enough stuff there. I need one more anything. Could kill a Bowmasters. I don't feel like there's much point in that. Yeah, we just don't have the delirium for the shifting. I could drain 2. I think I'm going to just take the hit from the frog and then try to have the Shieldred keep chipping away. Not draw extra cards. They go to 7. And they do have a kind of several cards. So what's my best draw then? Maybe Preordain into it. No, Preordain doesn't do it. So I can block that. This suggests that they have another Bowmasters. But do I have another option? I think I don't. What's my plan if I don't do this? I don't know. I mean, this is gonna... I mean, I could chump with the frog. I think that's worse. I need to hold this back for a potential Harbinger. So I guess what I need maybe is like Preordain. No, Preordain into Grishoalbrand doesn't do it. Okay, I mean, still nothing. Maybe. Go to our turn. And a little bit of life. What are they doing? Oh, they bouncing it? Yeah. They're trying to hit us with the Murktide for lethal. Okay, so that's an instant we can dump if we had to, or we could gain life. I could dump the Shieldred with Frog. Brutality. Dump the Shoal. Kill a Bowmasters, drain them. Exile 3 to the Frog. Give it flying. Hit them for 3. Shieldred draw stat. No, but the Shieldred will be gone. I think I have to do that though. And if I hit them, then I gain life with the frog card draw. So I go up to 7, but then the Bowmasters can also still attack. Oh, but I also drained them, so that would be okay, maybe. Maybe I can just like, I have instant, creature, sorcery. So then maybe I can draw a land or something that I can discard, so we can kill a Bowmasters, drain opponent for 2, discarding Nourishing Shoal. Yeah, I mean, maybe this gives me a world where I can like shifting something back and kill them next turn, like Worm in particular. If they force this, we're in trouble. Okay, so they did have Force Pitch Spell Snare. That's bad. That is what we would call bad. So if I dump the Shieldred to the frog and now I Gorios it back, I'd have to exile all 3. To give it flying. Or they just double block, but if they double block, then the Shieldred doesn't do anything. Because I need to gain the life to survive the Murktide hit. So if I give the Shieldred flying, And they have to chump the Shieldred. But now they have another Bowmasters left. Or, sorry, if I give the Frog Flying, they have to chump the Shieldred, but then I have another Bowmasters left. Is there anything I could draw that would save me there to do with 1 mana? Guess I could, like, draw maybe a Preordain or something. Gain life. Alright, it's worth a shot. It's not good, but maybe. So I'm gonna leave. It doesn't really matter. I'll leave sewers as my land. All right, dump the 3 of them. They have to jump. Children's gonna get exiled, unfortunately. Problem is, even if we hit a Preordain, what's our follow-up plan? They're gonna play Harbinger, and then we're in trouble. So we gain 2. They shoot us down to 6, and then we're dead. All right, fine. Fine. Not going so hot so far, but let's go to the next round. We have double Grishoalbrand, double Council Rumble, and 1 land. We can't keep this. This is better. I'm gonna ship one of these Grishoalbrands. It's still not good, honestly, though, because the discard outlet is a problem. But I mean, I get to at least Rumble, and then that hopefully gives me Delirium. Although it is not guaranteed to by any means. Opponent leads on a Mox Amber. Nothing for it yet. Pick up an island. Alright, so I'm going to lead on Forest. Council not doing a lot for us here either, because we already have the Grishoalbrand, so really we need the discard outlet. We do sort of have the line of like, okay, so maybe turn 2 Rumble, and then if we have another black land, we can turn 3. No, we'd have to Council for a Brutality, so that doesn't even fully work. Well, we could Council for a Brutality, play it, and then I guess have a turn 4 Gorrios. It's definitely a little bit slow. They have a Bauble, so they are like the Grinding Breach Emery deck. Only 4 cards. Rumble, Heat, Misty, Tameo. Okay. Use their Amber, but they only have 2 cards in hand. Can't use the Emery this turn. Looking at the top card of our deck. Let's see what they saw. 3 cards. They see a Watery Grave. I'll show that to them. Yeah. Okay, what do I want here? Do I want Council? Do I want Misty? No, I don't want Endurance. Do I want Misty? Endurance, I mean, it doesn't do a lot here, but it's better than nothing, I think, because I do have all of the lands I need anyway. Council, Rumble, Misty. I have Sorcery, land in the yard. So I can't dump a Grizzle yet. But this is something which, I mean, they don't know we don't have other green cards in hand. So this is something that could potentially threaten or hold them back from comboing. If we draw another green, then it actually does hold them back from comboing. So I'm gonna just like think here for a second and pretend that I can do something about this, and then I'll just let it happen as like a, I'm just gonna let that happen and hold it for more combo-y focused stuff. Frog would be a decent draw. Frog would It wouldn't actually let us go off next turn, but it would probably be our best draw. Actually, no, Brutality is our best draw. Frog is our second best draw. We just need a way to dump the Grizzle. And if barring either of those, I think our best draw is like Forest. Okay, they have Breach. But what are they going to really do with this Breach? Are they going to like flashback or Rumble? I'm just going to let that go. They need a second Amber or a grinding station. Okay, they're flashing back a Rumble. That's fine. And then they could probably flash back a Bauble. They don't have the mana for... Rumble, Breach, Steam Vents, Haywire Might, and Rumble. Okay. They took another Breach. And they're just going to get a little bit of value here. They could Bauble. They do. We'll see what we draw. Green land would be good. They get to draw a couple cards here. Okay, so I am going to play the Verdant. And now I can like threaten Endurance more. I'm bringing back the Bauble. Again, I'll let that happen. I need to try and save this for if they're like comboing. Because if I blow it too early, then... I mean, yes, I understand that they're accruing value here, but they have a ring. That's okay. Yeah, like if I blow it too early, then it gives them a window to combo after. Right now, it's like slowing them down. I guess, hopefully. I'm gonna get Overgrown Tomb. I am missing a green Surveil land this league. I feel like I would want a green Surveil. Like, by missing, I mean like feeling the absence of. A Preordain. Not the worst. Can play it. Frog. So I could play Frog, but then I can't Gorios. I can keep this Endurance. And then keep Frog. So if I top Endurance Frog. And then I go for it next turn. I think that's the line. But I don't need to draw another Endurance next turn if I do that. So I'm going to bottom the Endurance. I'll top the Frog. And then I'm going to not play it, and I'm just going to pass. They do get to Surveil again. I'm assuming I will have to Endurance here. And then we actually need to be a little bit careful because our Endurance is the literal bottom card of our deck. Maybe they'll like chain another ring, in which case I can go for something instant. So that could be interesting. They have drawn a million cards. So that's always a fun time. They do have grinding station. Yeah. They get to mill some more. So they do have the combo here, except we have endurance. If they go for breach, I think I endurance in response. And they have to hit with this grinding station with the ring, or just like have enough other stuff in hand. Yeah, I don't want to give them any option here. Right, so breach comes in. Do they have a rumble? They could have a rumble, maybe. They need to like hit another mox, which they might have. Rumble Tameo is not that scary, although Rumble can dig 4 and look for another mox. They get at least 4 looks at a 0. And we have really only gotten rid of, I think, 2, right? Looking like Rumble. Oh, they're casting another Emery. That's like effectively the same thing. It looks at 4. They do hit a Mox. So then now they're infinite, right? Yeah. All right, so they get that in. Let's just make sure that they don't misclick for like 1 cycle here. But now they can sack the Amber, mill 3, replay it, and they have a few cards in the yard, generating mana along the way. All right, so we'll scoop it here. They hit. I mean, our draw kind of didn't function that well. I think I like pick your poisons, decays. I expect, I guess, hate artifacts out of them. What don't I need? I mean, founding. Trim a couple foundings, trim a couple preordains, maybe like 1 rumble. Actually, maybe both rumbles. Leave a founding or leave a preordain. Something like this. Could also think about like 1 pact. I'm not going to worry about it. Could also have brought in a Beseju. The sideboard is very much a approximation. So we don't actually have a Grizzle, but we have a lot of other good pieces, notably Frog. We also have like Brutality if we draw a Grizzle. So Frog can hopefully find us a Grizzle, or if not, we do have Worm at least. Could, interestingly, this deck could play Persist for Worm. I think I like the idea of that in the other version, potentially even more, but Persist Worm is like an interesting secondary plan. Maybe at least 1 Persist as like a tutor target. And then you can just like make a big Worm. Again, I would kind of like this to be a hedge maze. So I think something I'm definitely learning is that hedge maze is probably the surveil land of choice. They have Amber. Yeah. Do they have the turn 1 Emery? Breeding Pool. And Tameo. Okay. So I could actually maybe pop the Tameo with the Pick Your Poison, which would be interesting. Let's see what I draw. I think maybe I'd rather develop the Frog. Okay, I'm going to get tapped Breeding Pool. Go to our turn. Ooh, so we drew a Grishoalbrand. So I'm definitely going to develop the frog here. The other thing I could do is I could brutality, but I think I'd rather frog. Do they? Oh, they have spell snare for the frog. All right, sure. So now I would most want to see a land. We see a land, I can like pick your poison plus brutality. And yeah, they get a clue. So the removal, not so relevant. We do have the drain 2. All right, we'll go to our turn. Shoal. I mean, Shoal Worm's okay. So we can cast with drain 2 and duress them. Discarding a Grishoalbrand. Now, if they have surgical, that's pretty bad. But otherwise, okay, they have Saga, Mountain, Shifting Woodland. Cards that do not do things. Did you get to draw a card off the clue here? But we'll take the only card we can, the Heat. So far, I'm not liking this version anywhere near as much as the black-green with the Sagas. I mean, you could argue maybe it's like slightly misbuilt, but Frog actually doesn't feel very good so far. I mean, yes, I understand it was basically 2 Frog mirrors, but it also has not felt good here either. Like, being 2 mana versus 1 mana is a big deal in a deck where our main advantage is our speed. We lose a lot of that speed, and I feel like we're really not gaining an advantage in the longer game. They've dumped a Springleaf. We know that they had Woodland, Saga, Mountain, Heat. So we know 3 of their cards right now. They have 1 unknown. So I'm going to probably wait for end step when they sack this clue. Okay, they play Mountain. We knew about that. Ring? That's fine. Draw a card. That's also fine. So we'll go to our turn. They draw a card. We draw a card. We have Soul Spike. So I'm going to have to pass into their turn. I can't really do anything yet. And the interesting choice I get to make is, do I hit this on upkeep and then they get to draw and see what they can do? I think I don't. I think I wait for them to try to tap out or something. I could hit it here. They have 2 cards that I don't know. No, they have 3 cards I don't know. Yeah, they have 3 cards I don't know. I think I'm going to just wait for them to tap down a little bit. They flipped the Tameo. Plus it. Yeah, I'd like to just like see them jam another ring or something. Will they do that? I think maybe no. Honestly, if they go for like breach though, that's good for us. Yeah, I'll let them breach. Do they have station? If they go for station, then we just have them. So they are going for the Emery. Yeah. So now they're tapping out. Or not. Maybe not. What do they have? Breach, Rumble. Okay, so now we can respond and kill them. Shoal Pitch Worm. So they're at 13. We need 4 spikes. 42 cards in deck. Nice even multiple. Dump a couple frogs. That's all they're good for anyway. All right, I mean, we have a shoal. We need another worm. Spikes would be fine too. All that good stuff. Another shoal. Now we actually need something. I mean, I guess in a pinch, I could pitch an endurance to one of the shoals. Okay, we hit some spikes, so that's good. There are some of these demonic councils. Get rid of Agorios and another demonic council. Draw. We hit some worms, so we have shoaling to do. Do we have endurance? Yes, we do. Okay, so if we needed to, we can endurance, but we have 7 that we could draw. That should give us our last spike. Dumping council and another frog. All right. So we win that game, which was cool. Definitely cool. Is there anything I want to switch around on the draw? Pick your poison seems maybe not actually that good, because we're not really going to hit an artifact that matters very much to them. Like I want to Boseiju in. They're not really attacking our mana. Maybe I want 2, but no, I think 1 Boseiju is probably okay. Well, we do get to hit Breach. I want like Pact, Consign. Nares, Decay is okay. I'll bring in like another Founding. And yeah, maybe we do want a Pact. Maybe we want 2 Pacts, because they do seem to have counter magic. Okay, maybe we go like that. The Decays also are maybe not the greatest, but I mean, we're trying to come back. May they not have turn 1 Mox Amber for once. That's what we gotta hope for. I think they were definitely expecting to win that game, so it is at least satisfying to win out of nowhere. But again, yeah, so far I think this list is just worse by a lot compared to the list without blue. I mean, we have Frog, we have a Preordain, Pact, Seiju. I'll keep it. I'm leaning kind of heavily on Frog here. I mean, I need that to not get spell snared. Preordain's like not a bad card to lean on either. What did I board out as far as lands? Did I board out my island? Yes, I did. Okay. So I'll get, I guess, Watergrave and then... No, I could get, well, yeah. It's going to have to be Shocks either way. Probably Watergrave on 1. Okay, Hedge Maze is a good start for us. Sending a land away. Alright, so what am I going to want here land-wise? Watergrave is definitely one of them. I guess the other one I just get Overgrown Tomb or Breeding Pool, depending on what I feel like I need more. Preordain, bottom. I'm going to bottom a Decay also. Gorios is decent as a pickup. So now if I can find a Grishoalbrand, Frog becomes pretty good. Shifting, they can't really use it yet, but they're rumbling. They could shifting next turn then. But I think they're still too far away from really doing something with that. I mean, they could copy Breach, I guess. But, okay, so they shift and copy Breach, but there's still no grinding station in play, so it's like, to what end? Here I'm gonna go basic Swamp. Frog. And then pass. So like Demonic Council became a good draw. No, wait. Oh, we're still 1 mana off on that. Never mind. Preordain is, I guess, good. Yeah, the 1 mana stuff is so much better than 2 mana stuff in this deck. It slows you down so much if you're playing the 2 mana stuff. Ring? Yeah, that's okay. That's not a huge deal. I mean, they do get a card, don't get me wrong, but I mean, it does also block our Frog for a turn. I think it's not catastrophic, though. Agorios is kind of not what we need to see. Alright, I guess I'm passing. I guess, oh, I should have attacked, but there's no point. It's not like it's dealing combat damage. So now, if I can find a council, that's pretty good. Amber, yeah. Doesn't do anything yet. Arn. 7 cards in hand. They're heating the Frog. They do have Delirium, right? Sorcery, artifact, enchantment, creature, land, yes. So, I could discard my... Well, I could discard almost all of my hand to save it from the heat. Discard 1, 2, 3, 4 cards, 5 cards. Or I... let me surveil first and see what I can find on top. Because I may actually do that if I like see a Grizzle on top. Oh, I could just bin the Grizzle. Okay, well, that's lovely. So now I don't need to worry about this Frog living. And let's see what else they do, but now we're threatening to just kill them. So I think we just Gorios and kill them. I mean, alright. We have Pact for their counterspell. Or their interactive spell. Or they don't have an interactive spell. Hopefully. Get rid of the frogs. It's the only thing they're good for. We do have Spike, so that's good. We drew Shoal, that's also good. Draw some more cards. Spike our opponent. Spike them again. Brutality and Agorios. And what are they thinking about? I don't know. Are they thinking about conceding? Maybe. Are they thinking about trying to counter something? I don't know what they would try. We draw 7. Still need to find that last spike. We still haven't. We have endurance. Oh, we have Shoal Worm. Okay, that's good. We do have endurance too if we need it. We have the green cards. Okay, so there's the last spike. Brutality and get rid of a council. All right, and we win the match. So we are 1-2. We're staying alive, and let's try another. Okay, maybe a slightly sketchy hand. We have Preordain on 1. We have Gorios. Founding is good. I am going to keep this. fetch a breeding pool on one, and hopefully preordain into another land for Rumble, or founding into Rumble on 2. Maybe Goryo's on 3 if that hits a Grizzle. RG Sideways. That name is kind of familiar. I might have played them recently. I don't know if that was in Pioneer or something. I'll have to check. I can't take these. I need land. That is not land. So, alright, maybe they're living up to their name, turning RG creatures sideways. Blood Crypt. Thinking it was lies. This is a black creature. This is not an RG creature. We're going to be passing the turn because we missed our land drop. Surely Preordain counts as a land, except for when it doesn't. When it is playing a DRC, all right, we're under a little bit of pressure. Bauble, okay, looking like Mardu Shadow maybe. Fear of missing out, okay, yeah. Omo, got the Delirium. This is an enchantment creature, interesting. It's powerful. 4/5 Goyf. Starfire. I mean, alright, we're gonna take a big hit here. It's aggressive. Take 6, go to 9. Unfortunately, we do have Shoal, but we need to draw a land this turn. And even then, we're not guaranteed to get there. Okay, I mean, that's the start. That's the start. I'm gonna get a basic swamp. I'm gonna play Founding the third path. And we'll have it enter with 1. So we'll cast Rumble. And we can get, do I want a shifting? No. I think I will take endurance, actually. I could block Goyf with this, and I will if given the opportunity. Shoal will put me at 23 life. This is 9. So I need to hit a Grishoalbrand off this mill, then, is the follow-up. I assume they're going to remove the spawn. Okay, yes, they are removing the spawn. I could also endurance away their yard. That's kind of an interesting option. Burning Inquiry. Okay, so I can do a few things here. One is I Shoal Worm. The other is I think I let this happen. And hopefully I'm left with at least Endurance or more ideally Gorios. What happened? All right, we keep Endurance and Shoal. Or Endurance and... Okay, so they do get to shoot us a little bit with Bowmasters. They can attack for 10. So if I do Endurance... Yeah, I think I like Endurance. I mean, we are spending a Shoal on it, but... I think we need to just get rid of their yard. Now we take 1 damage. And we get to put a frog in play. I mean, it's not nothing. We did not hit a Gristle. Alright, so, I mean, we at least get to put a frog in. The frog can be a blocker. And then what instant or sorcery card do we want to cast from our yard? Probably Rumble. Yeah, probably Rumble. So Rumble, we could like mill over Grizzle and find a land. They have push on the frog. All right. Surveil. We're going to take a bit of a hit. How many spikes are in the yard? All 4 spikes are in the yard. So we need to actually have our endurance not get killed. Three, 7, 8, 9, down to 10. A little bit dicey. Definitely a little bit dicey. So here, yeah, I think it has to be Rumble. The other option is Preordain, but no, Rumble is the only one that stands a chance at like putting something into the yard. Council is too slow, because how do I get it into the yard? Yeah, it's got to be Rumble. And then I need to mill. Okay, I mill over Grishoalbrand, and I get a land that can fetch black. But that's going to cost. Yeah, okay. All right. This is going to put me to 7. But we can get Watery Grave. Then I can Grizzle, swing. There's 2 worms gone, 1 endurance gone. All 4 spikes are in the yard. 2 shoals are gone. So if I draw 7, we're committing to winning here because we have to kill in response to these Bowmasters triggers. And I only get 7, and I have to hit Shoal Worm. But if I pass, what am I doing? I'm going to take 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 damage. I can play the Shifting Woodland and copy, but I don't have a creature I can really copy. So I think I just go for it here, and I hope to hit Shoal Worm, and I do not. Alright, so we'll scoop it up. So what else do we have here? Alright. Decay, maybe? Removal? Zurin Orb seems okay. I expect graveyard stuff out of them. Shieldred could be interesting if they're playing Burning Inquiry. Beseiju, I mean, yeah, again, I expect like general purpose Grave Hate. Founding, I think, is just not that good here. Frog also, the 2 mana stuff is just not that good. I think that's just the reality of the situation. Trim like another Preordain, go something like this. I don't love this, but maybe. We have Founding, but nothing to do with it. We have a Grishoalbrand, but nothing to do with it. Could Surveil on 1. If we hit a good 2-drop, we can cast it off Founding. Alright, I'm in for it, but it's not super exciting. We need to hit a Beseiju. I see. Alright. They have Leyline. So we'll pass. We could also just like find Frog and maybe try and beat them with Frog Beatdown. Pick Your Poison should have come in. They have a DRC. And Endurance is a good like hate card. Doers. I don't need a spike. I'll send that away. Zurin Orb is really not where we want to be. Founding doesn't do anything for us right now, so I'm just going to wait on it. Yeah, we were pretty heavily leaning on Founding with this hand, and it just doesn't do anything. If Thoughtseize, take our Endurance, we're losing this one. Oh, their Thoughtseize. No, their Thoughtseized ourselves. Never us. Never mind. Probably they take the. Well, they actually should take the Endurance, I think. Yeah, they do. This would be an excellent situation for Urza Saga, but we don't have it. Urdane, we will play that. Bottom that. Council also is bottom. It doesn't do anything here. Frog is an excellent pickup. Basically our only chance to stay in this game. It's just gonna get fatal pushed though, and then we're gonna be sad. It's my called shot right now. Never gonna get to fly. That's a little bit unfortunate too. Burning Inquiry. I mean, I could just dump cards now, or I could wait. I guess there's no benefit to dumping it now. I'll have 3 cards in my hand afterwards anyway. So I might have like different cards that I have that I want to keep some of. We discarded Founding Rumble Worm. All right. Pick up a Council. Burning Inquiry again. Same deal. Do they have a hollow one is I guess the question then. But, I mean, maybe they'll discard it because they only have 2 cards left in hand. They didn't, if they had one. I mean, if they do have one, we do get to just, like, pump our frog up and force them to probably chump. Don't like 1 red, but is it... What are they exiling? It's not DRC. It feels like a delve spell. I'm not sure what's a 1 red delve spell, though. Yeah, this... Not sure what that could be. Oh, is it Phoenix? Oh, they're collecting evidence. Yeah, okay. All right. They surveil. It's got the aura. And the question is, are they going to attack? Looks like no. Go to our turn. We draw a Soul Spike. I mean, we could Soul Spike that. I think I like that better than... What does Bestow do, though? Is it when it's dead, it goes away? The 2/2? Then they'd have to chump with it. Basically, I'm deciding... Alright, yeah, I'll pitch these into the frog. Then I'll attack, and then they presumably chump. That we don't draw the card, and then we're just all in on this frog. Oh, they didn't jump. Okay. Goryo's is going to be frog food. All right, another DRC. So this thing attacking each combat does mean that we will maybe get to attack next turn. Council is some lovely frog food, so we can go to a 4/5. We would die if we did, though, so I'm not going to attack with the frog this turn. Should have discarded the shifting a couple turns ago, just have them at 1 lower life. Of Blood Moon. That's like fine. I don't really care. Basically, it's just feeding the frog. Cards to feed the frog. More frog food. Black Cleave, yes. This has to attack. But we're winning this race. Go to our turn. blocking? They are. Okay. So we will dump a Grizzle. And we'll do some damage. Now they get to bestow it, but if they do, it still has to attack, unless they're going to make it not have to attack. Another DRC. Okay. What else they have? They're definitely bestowing. So they make it so it doesn't have to attack. They get to surveil a little bit. They don't actually have that much mana value left, though. So if this dies again, it's not going to be able to bestow. Three. They have a total of 4 power in play. Okay, they are attacking with it this time. Go to our turn. Well, I'm gonna attack. Wait, they didn't block? Oh, I clicked too soon. We do have a Preordain. Alright, I mean, I'll cast it. Finding Swamp is also good. It's actually really good. Because now I can Collective Brutality. Kill the DRC, but I'll do it next turn. I don't see a need to do it yet. Could also just demonic out or demonic get a Grishoalbrand out of my deck so that I maybe draw the other brutality more likely, or like another frog. So that's fine. So I'm kind of hoping that they'll attack with the one and then hold the other back to block. And if they do, I can eat something with the brutality. But maybe not. We'll see. Discard and draw. They have a land. Are they attacking? Yes, they are. Bold. Return. Draw. Another Grizzle. Alright, so the question here is going to be, do they block? Looks like no. Okay, so I'm going to dump some cards to it. I think I'd like to be able to kill and drain. So if I go 5 here, draw 2. I go 6 here. So I'll draw a card and I can use that as fodder for the brutality if I need to. So then I do get to brutality. Is there a point in duressing them? I'm gonna brutality. -2, lose 2 life, gain 2 life, I think. I think I want to gain the life. I'll discard the endurance. I think attacks each turn if able. We can also sack all of our lands for 8 life if we have to. The FOMO untaps the DRC, but then it has to attack again. So they represent 12 damage right now, which is not 13 damage. It's also not 21 damage. And they scoop it up to the frog. Okay, so frog getting there and finally doing something for once. We do want pick your poison against ley lines. Founding, I think I'm less likely to want against ley lines. Preordain, I'm more likely. Decay really is not that good, I don't think. I I could cut like a Rumble, bring back in a Preordain, and do something like this. Maybe I do want Decay for like removal though. Could hit a FOMO, could hit other forms of Grave Hate. Alright, maybe we'll do 1 Decay over 1 Preordain. Could also think about a Forest if I'm potentially going to get Blood Mooned. Yeah, I'm kind of into that. I'm actually going to cut the Zurin Orb, I think. Try and fetch basics as much as possible. Yeah, I'm good with this, because basically all of my Blood Moon removal is green, so I do need this Forest. I think it's just, it feels to me like currently you're more likely to be able to ride an Urza's Saga to victory than you're going to be able to ride a Psychic Frog to victory. I'm not entirely sure about that, but I think that's one of my gripes with this list at the moment. We'll see how they sideboard. So we've got Grizzle, we've got Double Endurance and Soul Spike. This doesn't do a lot. This is going to be a mulligan. This hand has Preordain, it has Rumble. I'm going to keep it. Send away the Soul Spike. Not like super thrilled, but it could shape up. So I'm thinking turn 1, Breeding Pool, turn 2, Shifting Rumble. They don't have Leyline. They do have Nethergoyf. Another Frog. So I'm going to get Breeding Pool first. It enables me to sort of cast my spells the best here, and then hopefully I find a black land with this. Okay, I do want both of these. I'm going to put the Grishoalbrand on top. And then next turn we can go Frog and dump the Grizzle. We could also Rumble, but I think I'm more likely to want to Frog. Okay, we got Burninged, but we didn't dump our Grizzle, but we still kept a Frog, so that's good. Nethergoyf is huge. Get a basic Swamp here. Time for Frog. And let's pass. They've got Enchantment, Creature, Instant, Land, Sorcery. 5/6 for the Goyf. I don't want my Frog to die. I could dump more cards. How do I feel about that, though? I don't know. Do I really need the Frog after I dump the Grizzle? Probably not. They've got Detective's Phoenix. That's okay. It is for 2 to 9. Unless they're trying to not... Interesting. Very interesting. I'll discard the Grizzle. Go to our turn. I don't know why I did it then. There's no need to do it then. There's Shifting Woodland that I can play. Now I can Goryo's back the Grizzle. And I mean, maybe they have Surgical, but it's a risk I'm willing to take. I could also just like make a massive Frog. Problem there. I mean, I guess it doesn't hurt me to draw some now. And like things I don't need can get discarded. Could also give it flying. Okay, actually this I kind of like this. I'll draw another 7. Draw another 7. I can actually pick your poison, sack the flying creature with and make them sack the Phoenix and then just hit them with combat there. All right, so that was actually pretty sweet. Yeah, we win the match. We are 2-2, round number 5. So this is actually a 6. I mulliganed quickly before I hit the start record. I think this is a pretty good 6. I'm gonna keep it. There's a question of, do I want to keep Council? Do I want second Frog? I think I'm gonna ship a Frog. Then this way I can like potentially, well, I might have, if I play Frog first, maybe I could get Delirium for Founding. I don't think it's that likely, but possible. Opponent is on the play. Have we been on the draw all 5 rounds? We might have been. They flip a Tamio. We pick up a Shifting Woodland, which is good against what is potentially a control deck. Thundering Falls, okay. Now, do I think they have Spell Snare is the important question. Oh, I meant to Surveil on the end step and I didn't. I'm gonna fetch a like a basic I think basic Swamp now. Maybe basic Island actually. Yeah, we'll go basic Island. Alright. And then we'll go for Overgrown. Shock it in. I'm just gonna get the Frog down while I can, I think. It gets snared, it gets snared. I'm unhappy about it, but I can't really do a lot about it. Alright, we'll pass. They've got Island. They've got Tamio. Go to our turn. Draw for turn. We draw a Worm. I'm going to attack with the Frog. We're going to see if they block, and if they do, I will probably discard enough to kill it. Yes. Discard a Grizzle. I'm going to also discard an Autochthon Worm. Play a Shifting Woodland. And I could hold up Endurance. I could play Founding. If they counter Founding, I have Enchantment, Creature, Land in the yard. So I'd be okay with that. Yeah, I'm into playing Founding and just getting it countered. If they don't, then, I mean, that's fine too. All right. Basically, we traded Worm for Tamio. Draw another Frog. An attack. Try and draw something good. Up another Shifting, which is decent, because now I can dump the sorcery and go whenever I feel like I want to. I'm just going to pass, and if they like tap out or something, then I get to go for it. They're cycling a Ketria Triome. Yeah, I mean, now's as good a time as any, right? They could have Force Negation, but if they do, then okay. We still kind of have presented a bunch of threatening things if they do. No shoal. And they scoop it up. All right, so we are leading the match. And they leave the game. Go to sideboarding. So we are against what looks to be perhaps Control. Although Tamio does Control. I don't think Energy plays Tamio. Not 100% sure of that. Shieldred, I like. Be like one Beseiju. Island seems a little bit less important. Founding is good. Could hit a ring. Yeah, I'll keep those, or I'll bring the pick your poisons in. Maybe just like 2 of them. Cut a rumble, or yeah, we could cut like 2 rumble. Cut a founding, cut 2 founding, go something. Oh, and I want some pacts. Cut like a couple preordain. Maybe even 3 pact. Yeah, we'll bring in the 3 pact. I'll go to 1 founding. Founding just seems not as great here. So we have pick your poison. We can't get this Grizzle into yard. This is just a definite mulligan. This does get a Gristle into the yard. I'm going to keep it. I'm going to get rid of a Shifting Woodland. Also, it potentially plays a Shieldred, which is nice. They have a Tamio, okay. Another Shifting Woodland. So I'm going to play Misty, probably fetch a Surveil. Let's see what they do on their turn, though. Make their clue. Yeah, I think I do want the Surveil here. Hit a better thing next turn. Hopefully. Yeah, I'll keep another frog. Keep jamming frogs. It's a discard outlet. That's on their end step. Did they think it was on our end step? That was probably a misplay on their part. I think they thought that was our end step. Now we've got a frog in play. Unless they, I mean, they could have removal. I'm going to dump the Grizzle now. And then they can eat it. Just to make sure that we get the Grizzle into the bin. Oh, maybe they needed to draw a land? No, but they still should have just used it on... Yeah, like they already played a land for the turn. That doesn't make sense to me. Here's a frog. Another one. I could have soul spiked the Tamio. I think that's just worse, though. Yeah, I mean, they get to attack. Make a clue. But now they need to answer both this frog and... Okay, they've got a Soul Guide Lantern. Sure. That's good for them, but... We've got this frog, we've got a Shieldred incoming. We have a lot of things going right for us, I think. So I'm going to... Yeah, I'll attack first. They could have damage-based removal, in which case I may want to discard this Brutality and Spike in order to, like, pump the frog. Or if they don't, then this can just be Duress. I don't feel like I need to life drain them. And now if they have, like, I don't know, Galvanic Discharge or something, I have Verdant Soul Spike that I can discard to the frog. And then Shieldred's coming down next turn. This also helps clear the way for Shieldred, potentially. Or like Bolt or whatever, I can just double pump. Spell Snare. Okay, I mean, yeah. Hopefully they don't have another ending. They are choked on land a little bit. This could be another ending. Oh, island cycling. All right. So here we go to our turn. We attack them. And that hopefully draws out some interaction if they have it. Play a Verdant, and I'm just going to pass. I think I don't want to... Well, do I want to play the Shieldred into what is probably counter magic? I don't think I do. They do get to draw a card on the end step here. I'm gonna let this happen. Not play the Shieldred. Yeah, they draw a card. Go to our turn, or go to their turn. The battle of the card advantage engines here. Tomio versus the Frog. Frog's been a little bit better these past few games. I still don't think it's good though. Like I'd much rather have just 1-drops. Get an Overgrown Tomb. Act is kind of not bad because I can pay for it. Yes, they're evoking, flashing in a Solitude, pitching Supreme Verdict. Do I want to counter that? I think I do want to counter that. Because then they have to counter our counter, probably. In which case, then I get to resolve the Shieldred and then pay the Pact. Or not pay the Pact if they countered the counter. Never mind. Yeah. Alright, so Solitude is happening. Again, they pitched a Verdict. That could read as they have a second Verdict, which would be bad. But, I mean, we have a Shieldred now. And, I mean, I can start also... Oh, no, our Frog is exiled. Never mind. But still. I also start, like, shifting woodlanding the Shieldred if it dies, and then, like, force them to pop the Soul Guide, but we're still a little ways away from that doing anything realistic. We are, however, 1 mana away from starting to hardcast Soul Spikes, which is kind of cool. Triple Shifting Woodland. If we get there with hardcast Soul Spikes, I will laugh a lot. Flage. Okay, that's not the worst. It's gonna escape, but like, sure, they gain some life, they chunk us a little bit, but we just get to a swing with Shieldred, and that's gonna be a big life swing. I'm on a council. So we have land. Oh, I didn't actually count it. We have, okay, instant land sorcery. No creature. I should take the opportunity to resolve this, I think. Even though it's not Delirium yet, I mean, I need a Grishoalbrand at some point. They have the interesting choice of force negationing this. They don't. Like, this means that if I get a Frog, I have some play with like discard Grizzle or whatever. They can't really bring the Flage back yet. Now they can. We could also maybe get to Hardcast Grizzle stage. It's only one more mana than Soul Spike. We have 6 mana right now. They've got a nice juicy stack of clues that they would probably love to cash in, but Shieldred is keeping us alive at the moment. The only problem here is Flage. I mean, Flage will drain 3, shoot us to 13, and then a Flage attack does 9 damage. So that's not good. Like, we can't really attack with the Shieldred into Flage unless, obviously, we want our Shieldred to die, which I don't really want. We gain some life. Grishoalbrand is a very bad draw. I mean, I could. I think I'm not going to, though. Just use it to try and keep holding them back. I will think about blocking if they attack. So they drain us another 3. Maybe I should have, actually, because then I do just get to, like, Woodland. The problem is I need to draw another frog. 2 of my frogs are gone, 1 brutality is gone, so my discard outlets are actually starting to run thin. I think I'm just going to let this happen. Go to 6, go up to 8, hit them 6 to 8, spike them if I draw a land. No, I think I do actually need to block. So I think I can copy this now. And they have to pop the Soul Guide if they don't want a Shieldred to come back. Okay, they do. Go to our turn. Act is not good. Need land. Can't hard cast this Grishoalbrand with a Pact. Although eventually it would be cool to be able to hard cast it. Draw some more cards. This is quickly going to pull away from us if they can like flip the Tameo and whatnot. So we need to be concerned. I don't like having to block the Shieldred there. Basically, I think Frog or Brutality next turn, and even that is actually probably still not enough. Okay, I mean that's the correct start. Do they have counter magic for this? Is then the follow-up question. I'm gonna pact the counter spell. They force a negation or pact. Okay. That is counterspelled. I don't want to spike the Grizzle. I don't have enough cards for the Delirium anyway. Eventually, if I get to Delirium, I can shifting my Frog to discard the Grizzle. But this is so slow. I'm surprised that they didn't draw on their turn to flip the Tameo. they're gonna do it now. They have they have Flage. Yeah, that's bad. Getting us to 9. Brutality doesn't do it. Well, let's see what we draw. I think we're probably dead. Shoal is not really going to do it. I mean, I could just like gain some life with Shoal. I don't think it's a plan that's really conducive to winning. So we'll scoop it up and then play another. So, Soul Guide Lantern. Hey, Preordain, Consign. I like where we're at here. Poison maybe is not as critical. Maybe I like Founding more on the play. I like it a little worse against Soul Guide, though. I don't want to bring in Consign for that. I know Consign could hit Flage too. I don't think that's that good either. I'm just going to run it back like this, I think. And yeah, I mean one more round here for all of the marbles. This is not it. No lands. This is it's not exciting. Having shifting is nice. I can bottom a shoal. Council gets Grizzle. I need a way to dump the Grizzle. I will keep it. I'm not exactly excited about it, but yeah, so I'll go to my main here and then I can just preordain. And yeah, we'll get Watery Grave because that is blue black, so we can cast the Council on 2. Frog is good. Grizzle is like a card too late. So sorcery, I'll still keep it. Yeah, I'll still keep it. Can't play the frog next turn anyway, but instant from Shoal. Actually, here, maybe I'm going to Shoal pitch Worm now to get the Shoal into the yard, and they can't like Force of Negation it or something. Now I have sorcery, land, instant, and if I can get the Grizzle into the yard, I have creature. So Council doesn't have to resolve. Frog kind of needs to resolve. But they don't know that Council doesn't have to resolve. So I'm going to go for a Council here. And hopefully it eats a counterspell. Okay, it didn't. Kind of expected them to counter that, but we need land. That's the priority. The problem is that now I expect Frog to just die. Okay, I mean, that is land. So is Frog going to get snared? Is Frog going to get actual counterspelled? Either way, I don't think I want to expose it here. I'd rather them like tap for the ring or something, and then I Frog, maybe. I could also go for like Sewer and Surveil, which is what I'll do here. Maybe we hit a Frog, or we hit a Grizzle. It's unlikely, but maybe. Sewers, alright. Do I want Council? I think I do actually want Council, because now I could Frog, and if the Frog gets countered, I can Council. And then I can Council for Brutality. I like that. We'll play Frog. Probably it's getting countered here. But now I have 4. Oh, it didn't get countered. Okay, sure. If they have Solitude, I dump a Grizzle. The problem is like Soul Guide potentially, but Dump a Grizzle. Yeah, I mean, if they have Soul Guide, then they get us. Is there? I'm thinking, is there another benefit to dumping the other Grizzle? I guess. Yeah, I guess it's worth dumping the other Grizzle. And we're just that we do just lose to Soul Guide basically, so we can't really do much about that. I think if they had no, they wouldn't have played it if they had it. They have the ring. That's fine. That's totally fine. So endurance is an okay pickup. I'm gonna pass. And then we're gonna go for a shifting, probably like on their end step. Can't do anything now because they still have ring protection. They dump a Tomio, sure. So I could shifting now. While they have fewer cards. Yeah, okay, I could be into that. I know it's, you know, not on their end step or anything, but like, do they have surgical here? No, they don't. All right, that's a start. We have some life already from Shoal Worm, so that's also good. They're gonna maybe try and solitude us. They have Leyline Binding. We can draw 7 more. 7 life counters a Leyline Binding. Pay 7 more. So we can Shoal a Worm. We have no spikes yet. We Shoal a Worm. This maybe is going to get countered, but I'm willing to risk it. Okay, it didn't. They could also be trying to counter the Endurance, but now I hit Pacts, so I think they're in trouble now. Council and a Grizzle can go. Draw 7 more. Another Shoal Worm. Don't Frog. Another Grizzle. 7 more, down to 3 left. Presumably there's another Soul Spike in here. Frog and Shieldred can go. I have Shoal Worm. I have these pick your poisons to pitch to the Endurances. Oh, we have another Soul Spike here too. Get rid of Frog and Brutality. And we've got Endurance. Reshuffle. And they scoop it up. All right, so we end up 3 and 2. And let's take a look back at the deck list. So I think this list was not as good as the list with Saga and Cookbook. It's much more reliant on 2-drops, and that just makes it feel a lot slower overall. Frog as a 2-mana discard outlet is cool, but like, because it, you know, you can have those games where it's like drawing cards. It did win us a game or two, I think. At least one directly against that Hollow One deck, and then potentially, I think one of the ones against Blue White with some of the cards it drew. But at the same time, it's clunky, right? And this deck, I think the main advantage is that it's pretty low to the ground. You can win very quickly. Like, we just fully have a, well, this version doesn't, but the cookbook version has a turn 2 kill possibility. You know, turn 1 cookbook, turn 2 Goryo's. It's not even that unlikely. And here, I found myself getting like kind of jammed up by our mana a lot more. And I feel like the other version has a pretty good matchup against Frogtide. And this felt pretty bad against Frogtide because I needed to resolve more spells. I don't know. Yeah, maybe Preordain isn't as important. The sideboard was definitely just heavily improvised. I do kind of like Shieldred. That might be something I'm interested in doing even in the other version, or to have some sort of like non-graveyard plan. Yeah, Shieldred I thought was potentially interesting. Frog was like okay. I mean, maybe there's a world where we play it as a sideboard plan. Founding really didn't do that much either. I was kind of envisioning these games where it was like, okay, turn 1 Preordain, turn 2 Founding, flashback council, or like use it for a free council, go get a Grishoalbrand. Turn 3 mill 4, play like a frog, whatever. Turn 4 discard that Grishoalbrand, Founding pops, we milled over Goryo's, we get the Goryo's back, and giving us this sort of extra redundancy. However, the Delirium is also a big problem here for both Council and for Shifting Woodland. Like, it's just a lot harder to get Delirium. I think maybe we can't really afford to play Preordain, and we need to play something that more reliably gives Delirium, but Preordain is pretty good card selection, so I don't know. This deck also feels like it doesn't quite mulligan as well as the other one, where the other one's like, okay, you got a Saga, a Goryo's, and a Grishoalbrand? All right, we're trying it, right? So I don't know. I think this version is not better. Maybe you could try a version without Founding and just Frog, but I think you want 1 mana discard outlets rather than 2 mana discard outlets. But that's just my opinion. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have a different one. And until next time, keep winning with as degenerate of combo decks as you possibly can, because who plays fair Magic, right? Frogtide players? Yeah. All right. Get out of here. Bye.